Have you ever had a botched self-tanning job? Or maybe in salon tanning job? If so, please share. I love the stories. I may or may not have had a few faux pas of my own with self-tanning. You definitely learn the hard way. In my opinion. Well, that is the topic for today. I am sharing my self-tanning products and routine. This is not the first time I've shared on my self-tanning. I believe the last time I hit on this topic was in 2019, and I also shared a video in 2017. Believe it or not, the #1 product I'm going to share with you today is the same product I shared in both of those videos. But I have plenty more, and I'm here to tell you, self-tanning is high maintenance. High maintenance. So it's definitely not for everyone, nor should you feel pressured to self-tan. You have beautiful skin in its natural state. I don't care if you're pasty white like some people will share. You have beautiful skin. You really do. Self-tanning, if it's done well, it can look really good. If not, just like all tanning, it can be very aging. And I have definitely changed a lot of things over the years, not only beauty as in makeup, but self-tanning as well. Because when I look back, I often feel that some of the tanning that I did to the level that I did was a little aging. But we'll get more into that. Here's the arsenal. Well, let's put those back in there. And that back in there. This little handy dandy basket gets stored in the linen closet in my bedroom. And I pull out the whole thing before doing self-tanning because I have to gauge what the desired look is and what for to decide which product I'm going to go with. I love all of these products, and like I said, it's very high maintenance, but it all depends on what we're tanning for. So let's dive into the self-tanning products and routine. Let me just share, there's no way for me to make this video short because there's just so many steps and so many products. I highly recommend you get something to take notes on to decide what could apply to you and what not, because it's all about the goal. With self-tanning, it's all about the goal. The very first step is obviously prepping the skin, and I'll share with you, I used to analyze it a little bit and try to be perfect about prepping the skin. And what I found, and time is always the issue for me, time. If I can get the same results in less time, in the least amount of time, that is a win for me because it's all about time. If you've followed me since, I think it's 2016 when I started my blog, I used to do things like dry brush, and I would drink lemon detox tea every morning because I had more time to devote to all of those things. It's not that way anymore. I am very, very busy today running the two businesses, being a hands-on mom still, even though my daughters are adults, and being a hands-on grandma. So if I can knock out something in the least amount of time, win-win. I have found with self-tanning, I don't need to analyze the prep. I know what works and I can do it in the short term, so that's what I stick with. And I have found that it didn't make a difference on the application of my self-tanning, whether I did all the bells and whistles to prep my skin or not. I basically use Cetaphil Ultra Gentle Refreshing Body Wash with some exfoliating gloves. That's what I do. And then I have a little container. I didn't bring it down, but I have a little container in my bathroom that I keep baking soda in because I use baking soda every day when I brush my teeth. So I will also take that little jar into the shower with me, and I will put some of this Cetaphil. This is to help with the pH balance of your skin. So there's nothing fancy in it, which I do think is important. I will put a little bit of this in my hand, and I will just put a little bit of that baking soda in my hand and kind of make a paste just to go over my knees and my ankles and my elbows. And then I actually do my neck and my décolleté. For some reason, this area right here, like right above my breast, the lower part of my décolleté, doesn't always tan well. And I really believe it's all the active ingredients that I use that can compromise that area. So my suggestion to you is pay attention to the areas that the application doesn't go well. And those are the areas you really want to troubleshoot and make sure that you're adding in that baking soda. I've been self-tanning for so long, I have my system down to a science. That doesn't mean that I still don't get botched jobs, but for the most part, I figured it out in the least amount of time. I used to dry brush. I used to dry brush before I would self-tan. I no longer do that. I've had to minimize my time. So it's really just this with some baking soda and exfoliating gloves. Dry brushing is great. I'm a fan of it. Do I still do it? I don't. And it's all about time. It's just, I don't have the time. I wouldn't recommend dry brushing if you already have self-tanner on. And I'll talk about self-tanner wearing off in just a second. If you are completely free of any self-tanning products, dry brushing will be great to prep your body, but once you have the application on, it really does have to wear off. You cannot, I am self-tanned right now. I am a couple of days of self-tanning. So if I was to take a shower tomorrow and use a dry brush and try to get it off, it would take me forever to remove all the self-tanner. So you're really kind of letting self-tanner work its way off, and there's some ways to handle that if you don't want it to look bad. That's why there's so much information in this video. So I avoid anything with this brush if I already have self-tanner on, because I'm kind of building. I'm looking over here because I have my basket. So moving on, once I get out of the shower, I don't apply anything to my body. I go right into whatever self-tanning I am looking for. And I'll share with you my favorite method of self-tanning is the gradual self-tanners. Now, one of my favorite products, and it's also my favorite because it's so affordable, is the Jergens Natural Glow 3 Days to Glow Moisturizer. Now this is the smaller tube and it's harder to find. It's not the big one. So you have to be really careful. It has to be the 3 Days to Glow. Links to everything will be in the description box. Please use my links. Check it out there. And I've always used medium to deep. Love this product. I've been talking about it since, again, 2017. But again, don't get the bigger one. How you use this is it's a gradual self-tanner. So you put it on your body like a lotion, and I always wear gloves. No matter what, I never will apply any self-tanning product without wearing these gloves right here. I'll have this box listed in the description box. So this is really great. But I have another gradual self-tanner that I actually used up today and cut open. I don't know if there's any, oh, there's a little bit in there. You know, I cut my products. How I use these, again, this is my favorite method for self-tanning. And the tan you're looking at today is a result of the gradual self-tanners. Most often that's what I'm going to do. Here's what I do. Well, and let me just back up. I never self-tan before going to bed, like in the evening. The only time I will self-tan is if it works for me in the morning, and I typically get in the shower between 6 and 6:30. Then I do my self-tanning, and I wear it all day. I don't shower again until the next day, because don't forget my workout is at 4 a.m., so I've already done my workout for the day. I get out of the shower, I apply one of these. If it's a non-get ready day, meaning I'm not doing hair and makeup, I'm not going anywhere, I'm not getting dressed, I'm just going to be in athleisure wear, this is the product of choice. This is the product of choice because it's the It's the least expensive. I don't want to say cheapest because this is not cheap at all. I mean, it's cheap in the dollar amount, but I like to call it inexpensive. This one is the most budget friendly, so I want to use this one as much as possible, and I only get ready about 2 days per week. So this is the tanner of choice if it works for me, and only if I really want to be tanned. On the days that I get ready, like today, I use this one. Now to me, they both work the same. I cannot say one outweighs the other, except this one's pricier. That's why I try to use this one more. So why do I even have this one, you're asking? Well, I'll tell you. No matter what, I don't care what anyone says, I will never believe that self-tanners of any sort don't leave a self-tanning funky scent. They may not initially. I have some wonderful products in here that smell really great going on, but later on, you can just tell you have that self-tanning scent. This one here leaves less of that scent. Number one, it smells great going on. It smells really good. This one pretty much smells like you're gonna smell all day, and it's very much a self-tanning scent. No one else will notice it, but you will. So it just depends on if you mind or not. It's not a bad scent. It's just, to me, a self-tanning scent. They all end up smelling that way. This product right here, it goes on smelling great, and it doesn't leave an odor later on like the Jergens. So on days that I'm not getting ready, I don't mind having that scent. I'm not going anywhere. It just doesn't bother me. This one's also a little stickier in texture. This is a little bit more smoother. So this is a great one for me to wear on days like today when I'm getting ready, because I don't have to deal with as much stickiness. They all take a while to dry down. That's why I don't ever get dressed until later morning. I rarely ever need to be out of the house before noon. So I just wait to get dressed like the last hour before I'm going someplace. So these are my absolute favorite, but no matter what, you need to apply them with gloves. I don't need to show you how. You know how to do this. Just be careful of a few areas, right? Be careful of the elbows, the knees, the ankles. I somewhat avoid those areas, but I do brush over them. So if I'm doing my arms and I have a good amount on, I do a really good job, but I kind of avoid my elbows. And then just at the very end, I just swipe through, because if you don't get any there, it will be white there. Believe me, I know all the faux pas. I am the guilty one over here. I've done it all. Let me save you from some of the nightmare. So you still need to get some there, but you don't want it to be when you have a heavy hand of lotion, if that makes sense. Same with the knees and the ankles. But again, everyone is different. So you have to find the areas that it just doesn't go on really well. And I have ways that you can camouflage that if you do see that, you have like an area. Sometimes even right here, you can get a little patch where it just kind of clumps, and you want to camouflage that. Think like foundation, how it smooths out the skin, it camouflages. There's a lot of tricks to make your self-tanning look great. Before we move on, let me share, stay tuned till the end to see my outfit for today, which I love. Okay, moving right along. Let me get my document. I don't want to miss any product, and I'm making sure everything is going to be linked. A couple of other things to have on hand is some rubbing alcohol and a toothbrush. When you take your gloves off, just in case you got a little bit of self-tanner right here, oh gosh, yes, guilty. I'm telling you, that's why this is gonna be long. I've got all the tricks of the trade. Dip that toothbrush in there and scrub that out. Just right here. You don't wanna go too high up here, but scrub that out. There is nothing worse than getting self-tanner on your hands. Now, I still do the tops of my hands. So what I do to do the tops of my hands is I put my glove on. And by the way, the two products I just shared with you, they come out white. They come out like a white lotion. So we'll use this one. It's kind of a little bit of an off-white or a cream. So what I do is I may put a little bit on my hand with this glove, and then I apply it, which I'm doing right now, which is really not ideal, but I apply it. I get right up on my fingers. I do a little bit better job than what I'm showing you here, but we're just trying to give you an example. So I want to get it all on there really, really good. Yep, all the way up on your fingers. You don't need a lot for the hands. Okay, but make sure, here's another really big tip. Really, really rub the lotion in. Spend a lot of time rubbing in your lotion. So what I do is I do one hand, and then I will take this glove off, but I'll put it on the other hand, and I'll just use the same glove. I don't usually have rings on. And I'll put it on the other hand. I let this dry a little bit, and then I do the other hand. So I do the tops of my hand, but it's really important to have your touch-up products. I will share that's not an area that I've had a lot of faux pas, is my hands. I think because I've always wore the gloves and I've been so diligent. Now you can get the mitts. I have a couple of these, and I linked a couple of different ones. You can use the mitts, but I don't feel like the mitts are good for these gradual self-tanners. I prefer wearing the gloves, and again, my favorite method. Okay, so moving on to, and let me also share this. I get the best self-tanning at a salon. I have a salon that's about 30 minutes away, and I have a package that I purchase pretty much every year, and it's just a 4-session package, and I may use it or it'll transfer into the new year. If I'm going on vacation and I want to be tanned, I am going to get a spray tan, and it's done by a technician. She sprays it. I'm going to get that done. I have found I don't want to deal with any of this. I don't want to deal with any of this. I do deal with one product that I will take with me, or a couple products, and I'll share that when we get to those products. But that is my preferred method. Or if I have something really significant, I'm on time crunch, like let's say last year when my 3rd daughter got married, I just went and got a spray tan. I wanted to have a nice tan. It was a busy week. I just went and got a spray tan. So I do incorporate that. We went on a family vacation last year to a beach town in our state and rented a home. I got a spray tan a couple days before we left, and then I got a spray tan a couple of days before we came home. So I basically had about a week. I got a spray tan before we went, and then again, while on that trip about a week in, I got another spray tan. And the reason I did that is because we had a family photo shoot the day before we came home. So the night before, I got a spray tan. And because I'm a planner, my appointment was made at a salon in that location way in advance. But then I do travel with touch-up stuff, but not self-tanning. I don't want to deal with it because I just found that I have found through this self-tanning practice that it has to be applied to your skin for several hours before you can get dressed. And most of the time you're out and about when you're on vacation and you don't want that high maintenance. Moving on to getting a deeper tan. Okay, so these gradual self-tanners, they are buildable. And like I said, if I want to build on this tomorrow, I will just shower. I will use this still with my exfoliating gloves, but not hard. I'm not sloughing anything off. You're not going to see any of this come off. And then I will put another layer of gradual self-tanner, and it will build, and I will get darker and darker and darker. I have found that I have no desire to get super dark unless I'm going to be showing a lot of skin, and you can always vamp up those areas. If you're going to wear shorts, maybe you just vamp up your legs, but maybe not your upper body so much, because again, being too dark can actually look very aging. You want to have a healthy glow about you, not a deep dark tan. Now, if you're going to be in a bathing suit, it may be better to go a little darker. And that's why all the products that I share with you today are going to be dependent on what your desired look is. What is the goal? So if I want to vamp it up and get a really good base color that's pretty dark, I am going to go with one of two products. I've got this product here, which is a spray, and this is amazing. This is an amazing product. It is Quick Tan by Body Drench, medium dark. It's instant self tanner. If this is sprayed on you, you look like you just walked out of a salon with a spray tan. Again, I would recommend you have this sprayed on you. You spray it on yourself, and you maybe have someone help you with the back. That's always my go-to. In fact, Paul applied my self-tanner, my gradual self-tanner to my back today, and I always have to remind him this isn't an invitation. You know, if I ask him to put self-tanner on me, there's always some comment about where we're going. And I always have to remind him, no, this is not an invitation. Hands stay on the back and no wraparounds. You have to love it. You have to love men. But this is awesome. I mean, awesome. But my suggestion, you have to let it dry down. You can't apply this, but you're good to go. So if you applied this in the morning, you are going to be savage later on. So if you're going, if you could spray this in the morning and like on your legs, and give it several hours to really dry down, and then you're going to wear shorts, this is amazing. Oh my goodness, yes, love it. I have to have that. There's definitely occasions I have to have that. This is another great product. This is Tanned AF. You know what the AF stands for, tanned as you know what, by B-Tan. This is the darkest, and it's a 1 hour self-tan mousse. This too will get you really dark. Not as dark as this, but it is going to get you darker than what you see on me right now. It's a much darker tan. You can apply this and shower it off in 1 hour. I have never done that. I'll tell you how I use this. If I want to get dark, okay, if I'm going to wear, let's say, some shorts tomorrow, and I want to look dark, and maybe I'm wearing this cami with a pair of black leather shorts. I want a really great tan. I am going to shower in the morning between 6 and 6:30. I am going to apply this with my gloves on, and I use this sponge right here. This sponge. I have found the sponge works better than the mitts, but you can try it with a mitt. Where's my one mitt? I don't see it in there. It must be upstairs. I'm going to use this sponge, and I am going to apply this all over my body. Now, this, when you put this on, you look like you just walked out of the salon with the spray tan where you're not going anywhere the rest of the day. You're going to wash it off in the morning type look. That's basically how this works. If you've ever heard of the Saint Tropez, which I used to buy, but I switched over to this, Saint Tropez is a great line too. These are going to be used in that format. So when you apply it, you basically you're going to wear it for probably over 12 hours, right? You could probably apply it in the evening, maybe 3 to 4 hours before going to bed if you chose, and you could take a shower in the morning, just like if you got a spray tan. I apply it early in the morning, 6:30, and I leave it on all day, and I sleep in it. So I'm really not showering it off until about the 24-hour mark. Then, after my shower, I will apply this. And then I wear it all day long because you don't have to wash this off, right? This just stays on like a lotion, like a body lotion. I am bronzed. Woo! Bronzed! Yes, beautifully bronzed. So darker than I am here. That's what I would do with that. I am just covering all the details. It's getting longer and longer, but it's so important to know every detail, right? Right? Okay, I noticed I have a backup can of this. That is how great this is. And I would recommend you have a backup. You know how when something is an aerosol, when it sprays, you're not really sure when it's gonna run out. You wouldn't want to get partially sprayed or spray yourself partially and not have a backup can. So it's worth having 2 of these. And let me just say that with this product and this product, you're going to see the color. You are going to see the color. That's why this sponge is so stained. You're gonna see that dark foam. It's not, I don't think it comes out white. Yeah, see? There's some color to it, which is great. And then same with the spray, you're going to see some color. So you can see what you're doing so you don't miss an area, which to me, that's important. I've used foams before that were white and not a fan. I need to see what I'm doing. I don't want to miss an area. And I am not sloppy. Everything I do well. I put the time in to do it well. So I will say this, with as high maintenance as self-tanning is, if you are just a rush, just know that you're probably gonna have some faux pas. So you're going to need a particular product. But before we talk about that, now let's just say that you aren't self-tanned, you have done no self-tanning, and something comes up at the evening before or the morning of, where now you have something to go to that you weren't planning, and you're like, oh, I'd really like a little color. How do I get some color really fast? I've got you covered with this right here. Awesome product, awesome. Tan Physics True Color Sunless Tanner. This too will come out, this is very liquidy, very, very liquidy, but it too will come out the color of a tan. Pour some on. See that? This is going to give you instant color. Now, how do I apply this? Once again, I apply it with the gloves. I apply it with the gloves on. It also smells really good, and it really doesn't leave much of a funky odor, but it gives a nice instant color that dries down fast, and you can get dressed very soon after applying this product. Of all the products that I shared with you, this is the one that is that quick fix. I've got some color, I don't stink, it's not ooey gooey. It's a must, and it gets a lot of love for those moments because I don't self-tan like I used to. Number one, I'm not a big fan of always being tanned, but I will talk about some pros to being tan. And again, I think you have to be careful how dark you go, and the more you're doing it, the more applications, the more you can start to have some error. So you just have to be careful with that, because the darker you get, the more those errors may show up. But this is great. This is one that I may even pack on a vacation. I may pack this. So if I got a tan at the salon, let's say on a Wednesday or Thursday, and we leave for vacation on Friday and we're gonna be gone for a week, I may take this with me, because it'll just, like at the halfway mark, it'll just give me that little oomph of color. And if I can put this on every morning after I get out of the shower, before I do my hair and makeup, I don't have any problem getting my clothes on for the day and going. So you could use this and be out the door still like mid to late morning. So that's a wonderful product. I just recommend having all of these because it depends on what you need it for. I'll also share that I don't have trouble if something didn't get used last year, it expiring before this year. Now, it may expire according to shelf life because everything has to have an expiration, but I have not had problems using a product that I had last year if I didn't use it up. I can use it again this year. I don't know if I'd go into another season, so try to figure out what you need, but I have no problems with that. Now, the must-have product that you will need to have on hand is this product right here, Vita Liberata Body Blur, and my favorite color is Latte. The packaging has changed on this, but I do believe Nordstrom, and I have it linked, still carries this old packaging. They've also changed the colors. Now I believe they come in light, medium, dark, extra dark, maybe extra light. I would say this would be your medium. So gauge it on that. If they have a light medium, it may be light medium. It's either light medium or medium. Think of this like makeup. Okay, and you can actually even use your beauty blender if you have one, because that's a lot of times what I'll do if I'm trying to do like my chest and my neck. But on my arms, that's where the handy gloves come in again. Most things I'm just using those gloves. This is great if you really want to glow, like a bronzy glow. So if I were to apply this today to my arms, I am going to have a bronzy glow. Be careful because in sunlight, you're really going to see that glow. It's not sparkly, but it's glowy. It is definitely glowy. And people will ask, wow, what do you have on your skin? So this will impress people and they're going to want to know what you used. I typically don't use it unless it's on my legs and I'm going to be exposing my legs. I love this because it just makes your legs almost look like you have, they're just flawless. Like if you had pantyhose on, right? They're like flawless. But the other use for this that I like is if you have any errors, okay, let's say your ankles going into your feet, so your legs are dark, but the tops of your feet are kind of light and you want to kind of fade the color into your feet so it's not so dark and then light. This is great. You just rub this on again with gloves. You rub it on just like a lotion. It's going to be the color. It's just like, again, it's like a foundation. It's going to be the color. See how it looks like a foundation color? And you kind of start rubbing it in. And then what I do is I fade it towards my toes so that when I have open toe sandal type shoes, there's not this line of demarcation because I don't like to put self-tanner on the tops of my feet too much. I have found that a little bit, but again, it's like your elbows. It's just a sweep over. So they may be lighter. So you kind of want to fade it in. It's kind of like when you're told to bring your foundation down so that it kind of blends and then it fades out into your natural skin. Think that way. Must have. This is the product that I will take with me on vacation for sure. Because again, if we're going out at night for dinner, I'd love to put some of this on and get that nice just glow. And it's just that beautiful skin. It has such a prettiness to it. Also, if a tan is starting to wear off, this can help to camouflage any of those areas. And especially because I may be sporting legs, and it's amazing how great your legs look with this. Amazing. So another fantastic product. Trying to think of some different questions you may have. The fade off is a big one. What happens when, let's say I'm done, I'm not going to self-tan going into tomorrow, and I'm not going to self-tan again for a couple of weeks. What happens with the fade off? For me, I really don't have too much trouble. I fade off relatively well. As it's fading off, the more you can slough it off with an exfoliating glove or your body brush or any type of scrubby unit that you use in the shower. So once you start getting maybe a little patchy, and for me, it's only in areas, again, this area right above my chest, that's always my trigger, and I know what it is. Because I'm applying my active ingredients in my skincare, it's breaking down my self-tanner, and so it'll all dissolve here, but as you get into my breast, but down here is where I'm fading into where I don't apply active ingredients. So I always see that. That's where I can take those exfoliating gloves and I can slough that off. But for me to go in the shower right now and try to get my body to its natural state for its skin, there's no way. There's no way I'm going to be able to just go get this off. And I don't have trouble with it. That's why, again, self-tanning is high maintenance. So you have to decide when it's worth it. That's why I don't self-tan all through the summer like I used to. I used to be tanned all summer. I spent several days per week doing something. I just don't have the desire to spend my time there. I have too many other things that are more of a priority. But if I'm going to wear a cami like I am today, because it is a beautiful day out, then I am going to incorporate some self-tanning. A product, use this. I talked about this in 2017. This is Milani Bronzer XL All Over Glow in 01 Bronze Glow. Love. I love all my products. Love all my products. And then I just use the e.l.f. Kabuki brush. love this. Never leave home on vacation without it. What I do with this, so I have none of this on, is I love to swirl her in good between the two colors. I tap it off, and then where does the sun hit, right? It hits our shoulders. So I love to apply this to the tops of my shoulders. It gives that natural look like you were hit with the sun. My girls would always ask me to do this when they would get dressed up for something like one of their dances. Mom, will you hit my shoulders with that brush that you always use and that bronzer? But I love to do that. So anywhere that you want to just get a little extra oomph, this is so great. The other thing that I will do is if I don't have a lot of applications on my back, it's not uncommon for my back to be lighter than my front. Let's see. But I'm willing to bet my back is not as dark as my front. And it's because I probably have 3 days. So I didn't apply gradual self tanner yesterday. I did today. I didn't yesterday, but the 2 days prior I did. So this is kind of like 3 days worth, and today was the only day that my back got hit. I mean, I can get the sides, but with a gradual self tanner, because it's a lotion, I can't get all the way back there. Now, if I'm doing this one, I can, because I have a way about putting this product on the tip and I can get it back there. And then I just keep looking in a handheld mirror. So what I will do is today, before Paul and I go out, I will ask him I'll get it ready and I'll hand it to him and I'll tell him to swirl this on my back, lift my hair up, swirl it on my back until it looks a little bit more bronzed and looks more like my front. So great product to have on hand. Just absolutely great. And now I have all this product on that we have to use up. Okay, before moving on to what I do to tan the face, if I choose to, it's also important in your bucket, basket, bucket, whatever, to have old loose-fitting clothing. Look at this. This is an old pair of the Nordstrom lingerie, the moonlight pajamas that I love so much. This is how much I love them, that they get so worn. I probably, look at it, they must have got into some bleach or something, but these are just old. They're very loose. You can kind of see through them. So they're old and loose, perfect. And then let's see, what else do we have? We have an old, very loose fitting t-shirt here. And then I also have a chemise. Is that how you say it? I think so. I have a little chemise. If I'm not saying it right, I apologize. You don't need to correct me. There's just something to say about people that feel the need to correct, isn't there? Can you just imagine living with them? And because no one asked, right? No one asked if I said it. I'm not asking for you. Wait, that's a different video, Tracy. Where are you going? So anyway, it's important to have stuff like this, and I'll also share. These are probably all clean and they all smell like self-tanner. So that's why I wouldn't wear anything when you're letting your self-tanner like kind of apply and get set in. No matter what I apply, I will wear these all day. And I really have to go braless. I don't put panties on. I don't put a bra on. Even though I don't like being braless, when you're bigger busted, I think it feels better to have a bra on. So I always can't wait to get my bra on. And then if I do put a bra on, I'll put like a black one, like an old black one, before I actually get dressed. Like right now I have a nude, like a skin colored, my favorite strapless bra. So, and then I'm fine. It doesn't transfer. Here, oh, I just thought of something else. Wearing white. Be really careful. Be really careful. I have found that if I'm doing the gradual self-tanners and they've had plenty of time to dry, and I'm not going to be perspiring because I don't really sweat. I'm not going to get sticky and sweaty. I have no problem with my white clothing. It will not transfer. Also, same with this. It will not transfer. That's if you're not going to get kind of sticky though. If you are, just don't wear white. if you're going to, and you know how much I love white, it's probably the #1 color that I wear. So I'm thankful that I have products that work and also that I'm just not a sweater. So that's my thoughts there. Moving on to face. Love this. It's the Isle of Paradise Self-Tanning Drops for face and body in medium. Never used this on the body. I've only used it on the face, but I have done the neck and décolleté before as well. I use medium. It comes in light and dark, and I just put a little bit of my moisturizing cream for my face. This is also for body. I do a small little pump in my hand, and then this is clear. It's clear. I just do maybe 2 drops in my hand, and I rub my hands together with gloves on. Let me go back. I have the gloves on. I always have the gloves on. With the gloves, I make sure I get it really mixed together, and then I apply it to my face. I avoid my eye area. In fact, I would say my eyes are a little sensitive, even if it's really close. So I'm very diligent to almost pretend like I have glasses on and it's on the outskirts of that. You won't notice it the next day that you're dark and you have these it's all about that kind of blending and fading out. And I wear makeup if I'm going anywhere anyway. I wear makeup if I'm going out, and I don't really care what I look like on days that I don't get ready. So a lot, I covered a lot. This is so in-depth. This is the complete guide to self-tanning, sharing it all, raw and real, step by step, faux pas. This is to help you decide what your self-tanning products are going to look like for what your desired goal is. My daughters, like my oldest daughter, Kirsten, she only uses one thing, and she just self-tans the night before she wants to be tanned for something. That's her routine. That's her go-to. I have another daughter who is a little bit more like me. She has a little bit more products, and it just depends on the desired look and when she has the time to apply in conjunction with getting dressed and where she's going. So she's a little bit more like me. Everyone's routine and situation will be different. I'm just sharing mine. Please use the links that I provided for you in the description box. It's always best to shop from the corresponding blog post. I've just shared a lot of other wonderful beauty videos. I just did a skincare video. My Beauty's Empties. I just recently shared an eyeliner trick using your finger with some eyeliner on Instagram stories. That is saved to the beauty highlight. Use my highlights, fashion highlights, beauty highlights. I just put out a bunch of fashion videos with fashion tips. I will have everything in the description box. Check those videos out. There's so much wonderful information. Jump on a cardio machine so that you can watch these long videos. That's where I knock it out if I want to watch a video that's long. So that's always my suggestion. Share with me in the comment section below any products you use or love, or do you use some of these and love them? Have you been a longtime follower where you remember me talking about some of these products and you remember my old videos? I always love for you to share. I read every single comment on YouTube. Thank you for sticking it out with me, and get that bronzy glow on for wherever you're going. It's a season of showers and weddings and graduation parties and outdoor events and cookouts and all of that good stuff. So get your bronzy glow on. Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Enough. We got to go. All right. See you. Thanks for being here. Bye.